It's been a while since we last saw you. Like
absolutely forever.
10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Too much.
Too much time. But we're here with Superhero News Network.
Wow.
And this is TGIS. This is the last show of the day, right? Yeah. We are closing it out. We are closing out TGIS.
Yes.
With some fun news. See, we don't have our CW expert today, Tatiana. So nobody asked us.
Yeah, don't.
She sent in a video, a review video.
Just in case, John Gatewood.
All right. So if someone requests the reviews of the CW shows with a nice, lovely super chat, we are going to trigger that video. And Toddy will appear on the screen, just like that.
Speaking of CW.
What, Gossip Girl's back?
Yes. No. Yeah, CW has cut ties with Netflix, pulling all their shows. And, yeah, I don't really know what it means beyond that.
Are they pulling all their shows? Because I kind of read it that they're not going to give them any more shows. So it's not going to affect Riverdale.
That's where I'm kind of confused as to what the deal actually means. Is anybody... So they're going to pull the shows. Okay. I mean...
that's a lot.
It is a lot.
That's Arrow. That's
Riverdale.
That's
Legends of Tomorrow. Mm-hmm. What else is on there?
CW?
Flash. Yeah, Flash.
Yeah. All their little CW stuff. It won't affect like Sabrina or anything like that because that was a Netflix exclusive.
Correct. Which is really all I was really kind of concerned with, just because it's the only one that I consistently follow. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly. Yeah.
I don't know why they did it. They didn't really explain, at least on anything that I read, why they're cutting the ties.
Do you think that means that CW and Warner Brothers is now going to be moving towards their own streaming platform?
Oh my God, no, please. No!
I don't want it, but... Oh, sorry.
No, I think...
Why are you shifting this way?
The floor is uneven. We're on the mountain here in California. The floors are never even in California.
Yeah.
So roller chairs, no. I'm trying to think. I think there was a deal that went wrong, and maybe they just have to go back to the table for it, and everything could reverse itself. But I don't see. I guess all the stuff would go to Hulu, maybe. All their stuff because they need to have somewhere.
But now Hulu is owned by Disney.
Sure.
Do you think that? I mean,
Warner Brothers and Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's some WB stuff on Hulu.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, do you think that they're going to
CW.
pull their stuff off of Netflix only to give it over to Disney? Disney-owned Hulu.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to do their own streaming service.
Okay. I mean, CBS All Access apparently is the thing. So, I mean, it's kind of like...
not really a big thing.
It's not,
only hot with Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone and when Star Trek is there.
Correct.
Nobody's subscribing to that for Hawaiian 5.
You're the only like Scott Can fan. No, so I mean, do you think that that's where they're kind of gonna move towards, like mid-level tier streaming platform? Like
okay,
CBS
logically and knowing this business, sure, that is a possibility. They could be ramping up for their own streaming service, which actually wouldn't be a terrible thing. I love Warner Brothers. And the WB television. I really like it, so I mean, I wouldn't be that opposed to it. But we don't need that. The whole reason why everybody cut their cable packages was because streaming was supposed to be cheaper, and now it's getting crazy.
Well, it's because these networks were short-sighted, and they didn't go ahead and jump on,
Roll that beautiful Bean CWDC footage up, please.
Super chat.
We super chatted. I super chat myself.
Recording this just in case you guys asked for the WDC roundups. We had the finales for The Flash and Arrow this week. Arrow said goodbye to Oliver Queen and Felicity Smoke, in case those were two characters you were not hoping to see again. You finally got your wish. And for those of you who love them, they actually got nice send-offs, especially Felicity, who you got to see first retire from the hero life, live in a cabin in the woods with her husband and child, and then when she had to say goodbye to her husband because he's off to save the world, or actually really save the multiverse in Crisis on Infinite Earths, she then gets to have a farewell with William and Mia in 2040 because the Monitor finally comes to pick her up so she can go be in the afterlife with Oliver. And Ruel's The Other Side plays, and it was quite powerful if you're into music videos. So yeah, it was a really decent season finale, and it could work as a series finale too. But we know, obviously, there's 10 more episodes. So I guess we'll get to see what the rest of the characters are up to next season. The Flash, they said goodbye to Barry and Iris' daughter, who sacrificed her existence in the timeline in order to basically maintain order and not have to resort to the negative Speed Force and, like, use Thawne's evil energy to stay alive. So, Barry and Iris said goodbye to her. It was really, really heartbreaking. Grant and Candace acting was really good, at the very least. And the timeline changed, of course. So now Barry is disappearing in 2019. But thank you, Oliver Queen, for your sacrifice. He will not actually die. And of course, Cicada got destroyed because the dagger was eliminated in the past, which then made it irrelevant in the future, which meant that evil grown-up Cicada never really existed. Penultimate episodes included Supergirl, which had a really cool showdown between Kara and her, like, clone, her Russian clone, Linda. And Kara almost died, but the power of sisterly love brought her back when Alex remembered that Kara was Supergirl and also used photosynthesis to bring Kara back, because, you know, plants have sunlight in them, and that managed to restore Kara's energies. In the meantime, Lena was a huge badass and poisoned her mom in order to save James, and Brainy got reset. So now Brainiac 5 is in existence because they basically tortured him into factory settings. So we're going to maybe see Brainy as a big bad in the near future, unless the power of Nia's love returns him to his adorable, dorky self. We shall find out. Finally, Legends also had a penultimate episode, and Nora became the fairy godmother. So, well, Ray's soul is in hell. So basically, next week is a trip to hell to save not just Ray's soul, but also Constantine's, because he got trapped there through devilish tricks. And also using Nate's dad's theme park for magical creatures to somehow save the day. I don't know how we're going to do that, but it is Legends, which is wild and crazy every week. And those of you who are not watching because you think that it's a lame and weird show are incorrect, because it is the best of them. Thank you, and this has been the CWDC Roundup.
And that was our resident CWDC expert. She's the only one who really watches the shows around here.
I'm so sorry.
But she couldn't be here with us in person. God rest her soul.
God, Jesus Christ, is she dead? Did she die?
No, but
okay.
God should rest everyone's soul.
Sure, when they're dead.
Okay.
Not while you're alive. You should be miserable while you're alive. But moving on, they dropped a Batwoman trailer for the new, is this CW still?
Yeah.
Yeah, the new CW Batwoman series starring Ruby Rose. Did you get a chance to check it out?
I didn't, because I just don't know.
So you didn't see the trailer?
I didn't see the trailer.
Okay. Yeah.
Tell us about this trailer.
It's a CW trailer.
Tell me why I should watch this show.
Listen, here's the thing. Somebody, please provide me with, I can't think of a single CW trailer that was actually good. Like, I can't think of a single one. Can you?
No.
Yeah. So I am really hesitant to judge any CW show based upon any of their promo materials. It's always something that I kind of just have to like invest in and usually trudge through, especially for like Arrow. Arrow was that show that I was just like, all my friends were like, you have to watch it. You absolutely have to. The first season, I just was like, you guys serious? This is not good.
Yeah.
They were like, you have to get through it, and then it's going to become worth it. And it did. And I kind of feel the same way about all CW shows. It's like those are the shows that kind of require an investment period where you just have to decide if this is going to be something that you really want to see and check out and actually watch the whole thing before you judge it, or if you're going to be someone that's like, I'll watch a couple episodes. If I'm not hooked, then just whatever. I'm washing my hands of it and walking away. Okay, great. But then you run the risk of missing out on some potentially good TV down the road. So it just depends on what kind of person you are. Yeah, this one just kind of looks like off the bat, doesn't look like that pilot episode is going to be any kind of, any really good. It just kind of looks like a pilot episode where a bunch of people are going to be really quippy and you're going to have a lot of exposition and there will be some cool shots here and there, maybe about 2 good action scenes, and then probably them walking off into the distance, as like credits roll. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not that impressed by Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
And I don't like a Gotham where there's no Bruce Wayne. I mean, I'm not trying to be like, hey, I hate girl power and all this stuff, but
no, but
I feel like some characters just don't make sense without Bruce Wayne / Batman. And then they have this Pennyworth show coming out.
Yeah. So you prefer Batwoman as part of a Bat family rather than a standalone character?
Yeah, yes and no. I like either as the Bat family or Birds of Prey.
Got it.
Like I liked the
not
Birds
just
of Prey.
on her own. You like her as part of an ensemble.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, for me, Batwoman is not someone that I was ever really invested all that much in.
Bruce Wayne was in Gotham, so be quiet.
Was it?
Yeah, he was. You interviewed him and took a picture with him and acted like you were a fan of his show.
How
Hypocrite. This is so Hollywood. Anyway.
I'm just going to reserve judgment just because the CW shows have kind of trained me to do that. Like, expect their promos to be garbage and to be cheesy as AF. And then usually they can pump out some pretty... And like Black Lightning, didn't really like that trailer. I just was like, that's the concept. And then I tuned in and I loved it. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. Super chat! Let's see. Green Arrow asks, have you seen the Batman vs. TMNT animated movie yet? I have not. I've only seen clips and what I've been able to see on Jezzer's Instagram story while he's been watching it. So I've only seen little tiny bits and pieces and flashes.
I haven't seen it either.
I'm intrigued just because I always like seeing, is it like a good adaptation of Ninja Turtles?
Ninja Turtle.
Then if Jez says it's a pretty good Ninja Turtles movie, chances are I'm going to like it. So yeah, I'll give it a shot. But no, unfortunately, haven't seen it yet.
You have not seen it. You have not.
I've seen
it. So with Batwoman, who do you think could have made a better Batwoman? Is there somebody else you wanted to see in that role? Or do you think she should have had a theatrical debut and maybe not a TV series? Does it work better here?
Listen, I really think... I don't really... Because who is this? This is supposed to be...
Kane.
Cassandra?
Cassandra Kane.
All right, so this is supposed to be Cassandra Cain. I don't really know too much about Batwoman. I'm more familiar with Batgirl. And like you said, in the context of ensembles, I'm a little more familiar with her. But on her own, and it kind of looks like they're pulling from a bunch of different origin stories or different sort of like source material where they're just like a little bit of that, a little bit of that. She's a cousin of Bruce Wayne, which again, how does that work out if you're an orphan, but you got okay. You got family, but you're still an orphan. All right, awesome. Yeah, this is so all over the map that I'm not even sure if they could have cast a name and I would have been like, I gotta watch that. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Can you?
To play... I mean, I would have loved it if it was like Rosario Dawson.
Okay.
That would have been great.
Are they actually going to be able to pull Rosario Dawson on a CW budget?
No, she was on Jane the Virgin, for the past couple seasons.
All right.
So she'll do TV, but I actually think she's heading up some other cool show. I forgot what it was. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that would have been more interesting to me. I just Ruby Rose is an okay actor.
We're going to get into this with the next story, but for me, what makes a Bat person successful as a character is so beyond the actor that it's just kind of I don't really know if casting a specific somebody would have been enough for me to be like, this is going to be good, guys. I don't think that would have been something.
But that helps.
Sure, but...
So maybe it's not suited for TV. So you want to see Bat stuff on a big screen or on a cable show? Cable network?
A lot of... can we go ahead and move into the next topic then?
Sure.
Okay,
Let's
so...
segue.
Robert Pattinson is now Batman.
Segue.
So... A lot of people don't like that choice just because they're basic bitches, and the only thing they've ever seen of his filmography is Twilight, which is very telling of people.
Or didn't and just know about the lore of Twilight.
And they've just seen him on some Hot Topic t-shirts. So, I mean, that's just kind of where I stand on the issue. I think any white dude in Hollywood with a strong jawline can play Batman. That's kind of how I feel about it, because I think what makes Batman successful is so much of the decisions that are made beyond the actor. What he looks like, what the take on him is going to be, what the cave is going to look like, what the Batmobile is going to look like. All these other little things matter so much more to me in that adaptation, because there are, for example, Christian Bale, probably one of the most, if not the most talented guy to ever play Batman. I didn't really care for some of the choices that they made on his behalf. But again, beyond his control. George Clooney, great actor and horrible. Like, I think we can all agree that the Bat Skates were a terrible, terrible decision. And again, something beyond his control.
George Clooney's okay. He's not like the greatest actor of
but
anyone's
but
generation.
you have seen him do better, right?
Sure.
You've seen him adequately act, right? You've seen him be a good enough actor and writer/director where he's actually been.
Oh yeah, he's great behind the scenes.
Yeah,
but
I think he's much better than what that movie, and so that's where I kind of lay on the whole Batman thing. I'm like, I'm gonna wait till I see what's going to happen, and I think what's more important is the decisions that are made around Batman rather than the actual person playing Batman.
Well, yeah, and I learned my lesson because I was like, when I saw the first class X-Men First Class trailer, I was like, this looks like garbage. And then it's like my favorite X-Men film. When Heath Ledger was announced as the Joker, I loved Heath Ledger, but all I've seen him was in rom-coms.
Dramas.
And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Blew it out of the water.
Michael Keaton was Mr. Mom. Like, he was a comedic actor. He was Beetlejuice. Nobody knew him as someone that could actually, but again, the take on Batman was you need somebody who is unassuming and not intimidating at all physically. And that's why you put him in a bat suit.
Val Kilmer
was a good Bruce Wayne.
I feel like Soldier Boy when he was like, Drake. Drake.
Listen,
Val
Kilmer is a good Adam West. Honest to God, if you watch Batman, what is that? Batman Forever is Kilmer's Batman. If you watch Batman 69, the movie, and then watch Batman Forever right after, you're just like, oh, so this is just a remake of the old 1960s Batman. Then it works. But if you're not coming at it like that, there's no other way that movie
not
really
after
works.
what Tim Burton was doing. No,
Exactly.
that was like
exactly. Yeah.
No, that's like jumping into a cold pool on a hot day.
But that's what happened. That's why it didn't work, because they were like, hey, remember this really like gothic Art Deco like
maybe that
Fantasyland?
Film. And that was Schumacher, but maybe that film should have came after Batman and Robin. Because Batman and Robin was a little bit more toned down, a little bit darker in a way.
Batman and Robin. Are we talking about Bat Skates? That's the one that you think is toned down? Yeah. Gossip Gertie at the what was it, the Rainforest Charity? And
don't get on Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Poison Ivy literally
he made that film
from
entertaining.
A gorilla costume. That's the toned down movie.
If Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't in that film, that just would have been like.
No, he's great. No, he's a great campy 1960s Batman villain. Absolutely. Same thing with Uma Thurman. If they're remaking 1960s Batman, those movies are great. But that's not what happened. Okay, they were selling toys. But anyways, that's not
Val Kilmer.
I think Val Kilmer is actually a really great Bruce Wayne. I think he kills it as Bruce Wayne. As Batman.
Listen, when I see Bruce Wayne, I want to jump his bones. Okay, and that's not what I see with Val.
Yeah.
No, I like Daniel Craig. I find him sexy.
Okay,
Bond.
but you don't like that baby face Val Kilmer, blonde, pretty boy. Yeah, because you like the more.
I like the
John
gritty.
Hamm, Daniel Craig, rugged,
Idris Elba, yeah,
in their mid-40s, working on their second divorce.
Wow, the shade of it all. It's so shady in here.
No, but it's true though. Like, no, I'm not bagging on that. Those are good choices. Like,
she says, I hate love, and I only like older men.
I don't think you hate love. I think you just love Olivia and Fitz way too much from Scandal. But anyways,
Anyway, okay, never mind with Batman and Robin. God, jeez Louise. Yeah. I just feel like
let's get back to the topic at hand, which is Robert Pattinson playing Batman.
Sure, but I want to finish this. Okay. I just think Batman and Robin was a little less campy than Batman Forever. You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
Again, Bat Skates. Gorilla striptease.
I haven't seen Batman Forever in forever.
There was literally a gorilla striptease in
that gorilla striptease was pretty sexy, like Uma Thurman.
But it's campy as fuck, man. It's campy AF. That shit could have showed up at the Met Gala and it would have won the whole night. Like, are you kidding me?
I want the John. Excuse me.
Well,
Do
you know
not
what?
disrespect Keanu Reeves like that. He is not the John Wick guy. To do a Batman movie so bad.
Is that what you called him? The John Wick guy?
Don't call him that.
What's his name from Speed? Jack Shepard? How dare you?
No, replacements. What's the name of replacements?
The replacements.
Shane Falco. His name is Jack in Speed. Believe me.
Yeah.
I
So
at least know that.
listen.
He's Bill and Ted guy. I'm gonna. Josh Goldman is just being really, really.
Listen,
problematic.
Cedric Diggory here.
Yes.
So that's when I first saw Robert Pattinson, and I
Correct.
cried like bawling tears in the theater when he died. Spoiler
Yes.
alert. Yes, he did Twilight. He was
Yeah.
in his teens, early 20s or whatever.
Sure.
Terrible books to begin with,
Yeah.
terrible writing.
Yes.
Then after post Twilight, like, God, if you haven't seen like Good Time and I forgot
Yep.
the other thing, he did Cosmopolitan or something like that.
No, he's done a lot of indie and these other dramatic roles where he's
He's
and that's
a-
why people
yeah.
have kind of just not remembered him because these are movies that not the mass public have really gone to see. These aren't like the blockbuster
Well,
films.
not only that, it's just out of like the demographic that he was previously tied to for the longest
Exactly.
time, and you know the audience that watches the Batman films. I mean, I don't want to like dumb down anybody, but doesn't tend to.
I mean, these are indie films that have much smaller budgets
Yes.
that don't have the reach of these like huge, big, big blockbuster. Yes, like water for elephants, Joshua Goldman. Exactly.
People are tickling themselves behind the scenes here. Very, very critical. But this guy is a chameleon. He can do anything he wants. From what I know of the Matt Reeves adaptation, they're going to focus more on the detective side of things than what we've been getting for years and years and years. But is the question, why is Robert Pattinson Batman, or are we getting Batman fatigued out?
I kind of think of Batman the way I think of James Bond. I just expect a new guy to like assume the role.
There we go.
I assume that every 3 to 5, 10 years at most, and we don't let that franchise go by 10 years without doing something with it. That's just kind of, it was to be expected to me. So this wasn't a surprise. To me, I'm just kind of like, the outrage that always happens whenever something like this is, I mean, they did the same thing with like, they announced Anne Hathaway for Catwoman, and there was outrage for her because she was Princess Diaries. She was Princess Mia from
But I
Genovia.
still didn't like that actor.
And yeah, so it just was like, again, all like literally almost every single huge Batman casting decision in the past, especially in the internet age, has always been met with just like, what? That guy? That person? Really? Maybe? And it just, I don't know. It's just kind of like, all right, I guess you guys just like saying the same things over and over and over again. And I think everyone also forgets that Michael Keaton, which a lot of people, especially in our generation, agree is probably their favorite Batman.
I like Batfleck.
Everyone, like literally, like Warner Brothers, like at one point, you have to go through like newspaper and book articles. And I had like a book on Tim Burton interviews, and he was just like, I'll never forget when somebody stood up at like Comic-Con back then in like 80 some before they released Batman 89, and they were like, you have ruined Batman for me, this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, can you imagine like pre-internet, like somebody, the masses still being that upset
There were a
about
lot
it
more braver
over
people.
Keaton, and then seeing it and he being like absolutely wonderful to the point where now we're totally jazzed anytime he shows up. He's become like, I think, one of the best actors of, this new generation, where he's, the Vulture. He's, what's the movie he did that,
Birdman.
yep. So I think you always
And
have
the
to
Founder. Hated him in The Founder. That is a garbage story.
I'm sorry.
I
know, it's a rough
don't even want to
story.
go to McDonald's anymore.
Yeah, and an Affleck. I think that, again, the things that people don't like about Batman, like, I think for the most part, very little has to do with the actual actor and has to do with what happens around Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, every time we do a James Bond film, nobody's like, oh my God, another James Bond film? Oh my God, another actor?
They did with Daniel Craig. Everyone's like, oh, we love Craig. Like, you guys lost your fucking mind because he was blonde.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't Pierce Brosnan. Like, oh, he looks like a weird blonde bulldog. Like, You guys forget that because you have short memories, but like that totally fucking happened.
They were like 5 years old when that happened.
Exactly, but still, you guys have internet. You guys were using internet at 5 years old, all right? So,
oh my gosh.
I just think fan outrage about Batman casting is just sort of like to be expected.
Yeah, and I mean their second choice. Oh well, I heard it was between Nicholas Hoult and Robert Pattinson.
If they had announced Nicholas Hoult, they better be casting a 17-year-old Bruce Wayne, in which case I'm like, I don't understand how he's Batman at 17 years old, but okay, go off, sure.
I mean, he doesn't look that young.
Nicholas Hoult is always going to look like he's
A baby face,
Yes.
but when he does have facial hair, I mean, he does look like he's like older.
They put hair over his entire body in X-Men, and he still looks like he's 12 years old. Like, nah, dude.
Holt or Pattinson? I love Nicholas Hoult. I love
I think he's great.
Hoult,
I think he's a great actor.
I do prefer Robert Pattinson
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
Just because I haven't seen I've seen Skins. He was pretty dark in that, but he was like a teenager. But I feel like Robert Pattinson has like that darkness to him. Like I feel that's what Bruce Wayne has to have. I think he has to have that inner baggage, and you have to be able to feel it. And that's what I did not feel with Val Kilmer or George Clooney. I didn't feel that at all.
But again, is that just because those movies are so bright and campy and
No, because
silly?
it's about the performance too. So,
Okay.
you know, being an actor, you have to kind of work with what you have, and everybody knows the lore of Batman, and I just feel like you still should carry the essence of him no matter how terrible the writing may be.
Yeah. I mean, I think I agree with you up to a point, just because it's like Jim Carrey was in that movie. And anytime they had a remotely serious scene, they would have Jim Carrey be Jim Carrey and just sort of like cut to him making a face and completely underscore any sort of like...
Sure.
Yeah.
But like when like Alfred was dying in Batman and Robin, did you feel like anybody really cared about it?
I did, because it's Michael Gough. That man was wonderful.
On the screen.
But
I mean,
again,
it was
that's
superficial.
That's writing. That's shitty editing, in my opinion.
Someone
and
dying.
terrible directing.
You don't have. What do you have to write to that though? You're looking.
You still gotta write what these people are gonna say, and if they're not saying anything other than like, I'm really sad, like.
Hulk could play Superman in a TV show, not a movie. Why just a TV show, not a movie? Why
I guess they just feel like he's not a marquee presence, which is.
I mean,
He could play Scott Summers.
They don't need that though.
Any
Superman,
day, all day.
Superman will carry his own presence. They don't need a name actor for that. Kelsey Grammer's the only live action beast I recognize. Damn, why you gotta come for Nick Holt like that?
Because he's
That was
Scott
bad
Summers.
reading.
Because he's Scott Summers, not Hank McCoy.
He would make a great Scott Summers.
He would have made a fantastic Scott Summers.
Because he's Scott Summers in Skins for sure. For sure. If you guys haven't seen Skins,
Like, they
you should check it
literally
out
put
on
that
Netflix.
dude in glasses, and then I'm just like, y'all could have just given him some fucking red lenses, and that is Scott Summers right there. Like, that's crazy to me.
Because Ty Sheridan is not doing it for me.
The come up. Let's get it. Val Kilmer is the best Batman on screen. Yes.
I didn't know there were so many stands for Val Kilmer's Batman.
You know what?
I didn't know.
When I think about it, there's no Batman that I actively hate.
No.
Like, and so
Me
and that's
either.
kind of
But
like.
they're ranked.
Yeah, sure.
He's
No,
last.
there's a ranking. I don't think he's my. I'd have to think about it. But
You have to think about it.
I'd have to think about it because
Mine is I don't have to think about it.
Do you not think about how they play Bruce Wayne versus how they play Batman?
Sure.
Do you see? That's where I'm kind of like, for me, my rankings of like who plays the best Bruce Wayne versus who plays the best Batman. Those are completely different mismatched rankings.
We should have a tournament bracket debate about that.
Can we?
I got my ideas and then she asked Joshua.
Joshua? Can we? Batman bracket.
Batman versus
Adam
Superman
West is going to
bracket.
take the whole fucking thing. Let's do it.
Kevin Conroy's going to take the whole thing.
I'd be
We're
all right
not.
with that. I'd be all
We're
right.
not including that
Yeah.
because that's just too much of a cop out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this movie still doesn't have a production start date, right? Does it still have the 2021 release date?
I mean,
2020.
2021, yeah.
so it looks
2021.
like
Yeah.
they're just going to look for who's not working and then.
I mean, at least they casted Batman.
Sure.
We haven't heard any more script news or. I mean, DC's just doing its own thing. They have a nice lineup coming up. Oh, I heard that people were reading the Joker script and they were not pleased.
This Joaquin Phoenix one that's coming out?
There were like industry folks on Twitter like, guys. And what did we say before? WB can cut a great trailer.
They can. They
When
really
it comes
can.
to the final product, I don't want to believe it.
Yeah. Listen, I hope for the best. I always hope for the best, and then I'm usually disappointed when it comes to these movies. So, but I always do hope for the best, and I think that if you got the right team, then anything can happen. Like, look at Aquaman. I did not expect to like that movie at all, and you haven't seen it?
Aquaman.
It's good, campy fun, and that's exactly what Aquaman movie needed to be. Like, just at one point he's riding on the back of a fucking great white shark, because that's what has to happen if you're Aquaman. But it's kind of how I feel about just this whole Robert Pattinson. And again, fucking Joker too. It's like, if you don't have a good team behind you, and if you don't have the people at the studio just like, all right, go ahead and make your movie and make it the best that you can, and we're just gonna like fade into the background. Like, I think that's also just another reason why these movies don't measure up.
I mean, I think this would be another fun fan casting thing. Now that we know who Batman is, then we
you
can
mean
make
cast everybody else
around him, or what the story could be. What is the story?
Well, a lot of people were kind of saying that, like, they think that if they're going with Pattinson, then they're definitely going to lean more into the greatest detective kind of like aspect of Batman, which is something they definitely just sort of forget. The fact that he's not just supposed to be this blunt object who happens to have a lot of shiny toys. He's actually supposed to be this incredibly smart,
I'm detective.
yeah, like tactical genius. Like, he's supposed to be that guy, and then they just sort of just keep on
keeping on.
giving him explosives, and that's about it.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week, excuse me, on Superhero News Network and for TGIS. For more news out there, please go to our website, www.thashtagshow.com. Thank you guys for supporting us and being with us here on this lovely Saturday afternoon. We'll be back next week. Well, you'll be back next week.
Yeah, I'll be back next week.
She'll be back next
next week. You're going to be at Knott's Berry Farm?
I'm going to be at Knott's Berry Farm
Okay.
next week.
So, Migdalia, tell everybody where they can find you, and they can send you Val Kilmer pictures.
Oh gosh. Well, you guys can find me on Instagram at The Real Miggy Spicy, on Twitch at Miggy Spicy, and on Twitter at Miggy Spicy.
And you guys can find me at the Tony Sanchez on pretty much everywhere.
I thought you were the Tony Stark right now.
No, that's just my...
Oh.
Yeah, no, the Tony Sanchez. There's 6 Tony Sanchez's in my family. I'm fighting for that shit to be just the one. I am the one, okay? So... I'll fight my brother. I don't care. But yeah, go ahead and send me pictures of Adam West, because... No, Cesar Romero, because he was the best Joker ever. All right.
Send her pictures
I'll
of
die on
Cesar
that
Romero.
hill. Yeah.
All right, guys. So we'll be back with more news. So keep this going in the comment section below. Thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. And have a lovely Saturday. Bye.